What's going on, everybody? Mortem here, this time bringing you my top 5 upcoming CRPGs. So a couple of things. One, none of these games have released yet. That is the point. These are games that should be releasing in the future. 2, not covering Baldur's Gate 3 here, for a variety of reasons, to be honest, but most importantly, to me, is simply that everyone knows about Baldur's Gate 3 at this point. I'm looking forward to it just like everybody else is. I don't think I need to mention that here, and I'd rather highlight other CRPGs that are lesser known, frankly. So, with that out of the way, let's jump right into this list. It is ordered in my own personal preference of what I'm least looking forward to what I'm looking forward to the most. So, at the bottom of the list, we have Dark Envoy. So, unfortunately, and I say unfortunately very sincerely, this is the game we know the least about, simply because there isn't a lot of information about it outside of the fact that it's coming and a general plot setup. So this game was originally slated to release in 2021, but was quietly pushed back to 2022 earlier this year. It is by publisher Event Horizon. But what we do know about the game is that it will put you in control of two siblings, a brother and a sister, who are navigating a world in which mana has been used to not just fuel magic, but fuel actual machinery, which has kind of upset the balance of magical hierarchy, shall you say. And it's sort of a high-tech sci-fi fantasy, and the idea of it is intriguing to me, and I'm very interested to see where they take that, and hopefully there will be some more information soon that I could cover. But number 4 in the list is actually Colony Ship, a post-Earth role-playing game. I actually very recently covered this in a sort of checkout style video. It is currently in early access for, I believe, $25, so that is subject to change, very much so. Colony Ship is genuinely more of a old school type of CRPG where it's just not interested in holding your hand at all and expects you to just figure stuff out. And truthfully, it has its pros and its cons as well, but what I am the most intrigued by about Colony Ship is the story. The story of Colony Ship is that some religious organization left Earth in this giant generation ship, they call it, and set out towards a new galaxy or whatever to set up shop on. But the trip is going to take 400 years. So the premise of Colony Ship is that you play one of the generations in between the takeoff and arrival at their destination. So you've never seen Earth, you'll never see the place you're going to. And there was a mutiny on the ship against the original, let's go here type of people. And it's just a super interesting concept and this really interesting world, and I'm excited to see that in all of its glory, shall we say, as it gets played out. So very interested in seeing how that game shapes up, though I do recommend you check out my checkout video before you actually think about buying into early access at all. In our third spot, we have Game Deck. So this puts you in the shoes of a sort of private investigator of sorts, in a world that has a virtual world. So it takes place in a dystopian future of sorts where people find themselves in virtual reality more than actual reality. And you're an investigator that solves crimes in the virtual world and as well as the real world. So it's kind of a weird mix of virtual reality game type stuff. And it's primarily an investigation thing. There's not any combat or anything like that. But it has a very murder mystery vibe to it, but in this weird cyberpunk-esque kind of setting. And moreover, it kind of reminds me of those Sherlock Holmes games where you gotta make deductions and stuff about what's going on. And it's just a very interesting thing. So excited to see that as well. Now, for our second to last entry, we have Encased. So Encased is a game I have covered fairly well. Not as much as, say, other games, but I've covered it quite a few times here and there as it makes updates. It is in early access as well and will be releasing in fall of this year, though we don't have an exact date. And Encased makes absolutely no secret about trying to replicate the original first 2 Fallout games. But in Encased, in the 70s, a structure called the Dome was found. And it's this lost, very large sphere that houses a bunch of pre-civilization technology. People they call the Founders, and these relics that they find inside the dome do all sorts of crazy stuff. However, the dome is only semi-permeable, so once people go in, they can't leave, but they can send artifacts and things back out. So the game is set in kind of this weird modern day setting, but also you're kind of isolated in this tiny post-apocalyptic desert area that is set in the actual modern world. So I'm very curious to see how that plays out. But beyond that, it's very much so kind of Fallout with some unique takes and stuff, but radiation and stuff is very much so a problem. It's definitely got that vibe to it. And again, they make absolutely zero attempt to pretend it's anything but that. Their early marketing actually said they were trying to make Russian Fallout, but overall, it's shaping up really well. It's looking to be very promising. It is actually slated to release again this fall, and is also in early access, so you can actually check it out now if you wanted to. That brings us to our number one spot, and this should be a surprise to absolutely no one who watches this channel, and that is Pathfinder: Wrath of the Righteous. So, I am a huge fan of CRPGs, and I also love tabletop games, and Pathfinder, while I wasn't a huge fan of it, and I've honestly never really messed with the tabletop version of Pathfinder very much, nonetheless, the Pathfinder series, especially Kingmaker, really drew me in. And Pathfinder: Wrath of the Righteous is especially so because it definitely kind of digs into that Crusade Against Demons vibe. And moreover, it lets you explore Pathfinder's mythic path concepts where you can take on the aspect of something greater than any regular mortal per se. So you get to become like an angel or a demon or a lich, and like liches get to have followers, and it looks like they're putting a ton of effort in to make that fully well realized. And there is so much choice in this game, some of it, admittedly, a little superfluous. It is nonetheless shaping up to be an incredible game and is hands down my most anticipated CRPG. It is actually releasing on September 2nd, so we should see that one fairly soon as well. But there you go, guys. There is my top 5 upcoming CRPGs in this year and somewhat beyond. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you are also looking forward to any of these games, by all means, please let me know down in the comments section below. But regardless of any of that, truly, just thank you so much. I really do appreciate you watching. May you wander in wisdom and have an amazing day.